Yeah.
It's just a conversation I want to have with you just to provide people, because so I have a podcast and it's called The Antithetical Antagonist.
Hmm.
And I want to provide like something different from like what's out there. It's like a outlook on what's happening out in life, but using real life, everyday people. And so it kind of like gets us to stem away from like chasing after celebrities and so much, just seeing like life for what it is from a real life experience, but also, just in case somebody comes across it and they've end up, y'all may have like similar situations or maybe, excuse me, similar interests. Maybe it could be like some use to people. Because I just want to make or disseminate content that's more tailored to what people's real life look like and not what we see on social media.
Right.
Good morning, good morning, good morning, beautiful people. Good afternoon, good evening. No matter what time it is, just know this is the day that the Lord has made, and I will rejoice and be glad in it. As always, God is good, and He is good all the time. And so I first want to start with who is Jaeylon Johnson? Like when you starting from when you were like a child in adolescence, what is like one early memory that you have that you cherish even at your age now?
Mm, that's a great question. Jaeylon Johnson, R&B artist, dancer, and entertainer, roller skater, um, music writer, sports for the most part, play video games in my spare time. But one thing that I can say that I could cherish was as a child was my father. My father taught me a lot. God bless his soul now. But after I got out of jail, he ended up dying before my 25th birthday. Excuse me. Um During that time, um he wasn't like answering my calls, and I could understand why. He didn't want me to like worry about him while I was doing my time behind the protests and whatnot. So I could say that that would be one thing. That would be one thing that I would say is one thing I'll always cherish since childhood.
Is your dad?
Hmm.
Would you, so he's like a bit of a role model, if you will?
Yeah, he was my number one role model, and a lot of people, black men, black women, there's a lot of people that could say that they don't have their dad in their life.
Right.
So for me being that person that actually did have a father in his life, I definitely would cherish that more than anything.
That's definitely true, especially because like it's preached a lot that like having both parents, especially a dad in like a child's adolescence is like important because I mean they're young, they're still developing and you tend to cling, to what I mean that's your people's, like it's interesting because like growing up my dad he was my role model, and I say was in a sense he's still alive. He's not so much my role model now, but I look up to my dad. Like
Yeah.
the respect I have for him is just like people wouldn't imagine like who I am today is because of my dad. And the same, would you say that applies with you?
Yes, I would say that.
And then so currently I know you said you lived in Rochester and you dealt with your dad. Did he pass while you were serving time in Monroe County's
So
jail?
he was sick during the time I was doing my time in the Monroe County Jail coming out. It was around that time his body was deteriorating more after I got out, and it was around that time. I just wasn't expecting it to all happen right before my birthday. But yeah, he yeah, that actually that changed everything about my life. Like after that, like he was really my number one support. Like in true honesty, like he was there. He always like I was always around my dad. It was like anytime like anybody see me, they'd be like, "Oh, that's Bob's son," blah blah blah. Like it was just that father son connection. Like, and that's something that again I always cherish because that was my best friend on top of him being my father. So like I could go to him and talk to him about every single problem that I ever had. That man know everything about me because everything that went on about me I went to him and spoke to him to get guidance and advice. And he learned off of me. I learned off of him. And it was like, it just, it was just going back and forth. We learned from each other, learn how to deal with certain things with each other. So like certain times he wouldn't answer my calls because the simple fact he knows if I answer this call, I'm gonna have to tell him like Jaeylon, I'm in the hospital, this, that, and the third. He know I'm gonna feel some type of way blah blah blah. I didn't find out the full extent of what was going on until I got out of jail. So during the time that I was doing my 16 months behind the protests, behind me being on probation, during the time when I was doing my time, I didn't know that he was sick. I didn't know that he was in and out of the hospital the whole time. Um, it was around when I was getting out when I eventually called. I think it was my grandmother. My grandmother told me your dad was sick but I didn't find out the full extent till I got out. That's when I went to New York City when I got out, and I was dealing with that coming back and forth and whatnot. So, like I said, with that, um, it takes depth. For me in my time of life right now, and the period of time that I'm living right now, I feel like it takes depth to realize who really there for you and who haven't been there but come around when it's like needed. The like you, how I grew up, like I people would say like, oh, I was jealous of this, that, and the third with like certain siblings or cousins or whatnot. But it wasn't that. It was me like saying like how y'all treat like my peers around me, it's not the same as how y'all treat me. And I never really would trip on it because it's simple fact, I'ma just handle myself how I'ma handle myself. And if it involves me like cutting you off, if it involves me moving different with you, I'm a go that route because I'm not gonna accept just the bare minimum from nobody, not even my family members. I'm not gonna accept the bare minimum because I'm not giving you the bare minimum. Like with my mom in the situation with work right now, I told her like I have people that been helping me get through the process of trying to get back to legally be able to work. With the charge that I took, I told her that is a public charge. That's a riot charge. Any employer that looks at that charge, I'm gonna be like negative. No, no, you riot. No, I would if anybody has common sense, and if I'm a businessman or woman of that nature, I'm gonna look like you riot. But at the same time, I'm a radical person, so I know when you come in my face, I'm a ask. This is why I ask. This is why you ask questions.
Hmm.
What was you rioting about? Was it a riot or were you protesting and you got caught up? Like these are certain questions you ask. But since it's the system that we facing, it's just the simple fact that you're black. It was a riot. Then on top of that, you call it a riot, which wasn't. You gave me a riot charge for a riot that didn't happen. In my eyes, it wasn't a riot. But then you lie on my paperwork that I posted on Facebook. um I forgot his full name, but Mr. Bo Decker of the Rochester Police Department. He stated that Jaeylon Johnson, myself, caused a riot on such and such day in 2021 or whatever, and caused me to face injury. Somebody hit him with a rock. Later on, stated in the paperwork that that wasn't what was done. He fell off a curb. So you blatantly told a lie on the paperwork. One judge threw the shit away, threw the whole thing away, threw it away. Like he literally said that he fell off the curb. You said that you got hit with a rock. What happened? So when I posted that, I was like, okay, well, can I get some help? I was like, I was trying to like the organizations I was working with. I was working with FTP. I was working with CJI. Um, I more or less it was a lot of stuff going on between organizations, so it was a lot of problems here, 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 here. But like majority of the time, I was dealing with FTP, and honestly, a lot of my peers that were out there would tell you the same thing that I'm about to tell you. During my time, I have received zero help from these people that I worked with. The only person that I could say helped me for real was Indy Mari. That was the one that's been there from day one when they found out that I was locked up. Her and in city Black Grand. So in my eyes, during all this time, I'm like a lot of people. I done said this because of me being upset because I don't want nobody to play with my money, and especially I don't hate white people. I don't hate nobody, but at the same time, I hate a racist system that plays with my money of me being able to make money. I don't want to I don't want to resort to doing things to get money when I could get money the right way. I don't want to resort to old habits. That was when I was a teen. I'm 25 now. But how the system is now, well, by me having basically having to apply to basically say that I could be a working citizen again is ridiculous. That I have to do that because one there's people that come out of prison. I didn't even go to prison. There's people that come out of prison that can get jobs like that. I haven't even went to prison. I did county time. I was in jail. I did county time. So then it hits me because I'm like, basically I'm in prison on the outside because like y'all not letting me make no money. Like y'all not letting me make any money. I try to apply for jobs, they give me adverse action. You have to have certain paperwork to say why, or basically saying having paperwork saying that you can work. Basically, like giving them a reason for them to be like, yeah, you're hired. And I feel that it's ridiculous that I have that if I didn't find that person, thank God for you telling me, giving me that information and her helping me. If I haven't found that person, like I would still be in that dilemma. And during the time, like a lot of my peers even posted on certain posts, FCP posted that never got no response. Was like Jaeylon one post was like Jaeylon did so much for you guys, and why is he not receiving any judicial help right now, lawyer help with his cases? And a lot of y'all, a lot of there's been a lot of people that could say the same thing. How have some of y'all got off some of these charges that y'all got? Because
That's
listen,
true.
if you don't work for the man, what did your lawyer do to get you off that y'all couldn't send that lawyer to me to help me with my case? And I at the end of the day, I'll never hate. Like I said, I don't hate nobody, but I will say how I feel about a situation, regardless if they don't like how I say it or if it's about them. I was not helped when I did so much, put my body and life on the line, fighting a 4-year lawsuit because I had a seizure during all this. I didn't put my body and life on the line for a right cause one, to be in the position I'm in now, I can't legally work right now because I have to wait for that. That's the whole process. Even me doing that, I still have to wait. Like, so it's like at the end of the day, like, just imagine, just one person. There's probably 100,000 other people that's in this type of position. So just imagine, I was never that goody two shoes kid. That was not me. Me, I was the odd bunch out the family. I was getting in trouble. I'm gonna be honest. Now I had a different mindset though. That's one thing I can't say. I had a different mindset compared to my peers, compared to the people I grew up with. There's only a couple people in my age bracket that got that same type of mindset. Everybody else don't have the same mindset as me. People can say I'm a little bit ahead of my time with certain things, but I understand right from right, wrong is wrong. I understand that not everything is what it seems. And with this system is made to bring us completely down. This system is made to tear everything that we're trying to build on top of down, trying to break every single wall that you are building up. And this is what I've been facing for what I've been out. We about to be in 2025. I've been out for almost 2 years now. So I literally had two jobs since I've been out, and I wasn't making enough money to even. I wasn't making enough money working at an IHOP or Waffle House. I wasn't making enough money. One, because I'm black and I'm in the South. People who are gonna tip you 9 times out of 10 gonna be white people that's coming in. You might get here and there. You got your fellow black peers. They might come in, tip you. But in the areas that I'm in, that it's usually white people that gives tips and whatnot. But there's be times I don't get no tips. I remember I was working in a 8 hour shift. Man, I left with like $60. My peers, probably the only black server at Waffle House. Yeah, I'm the only black male server at Waffle House. I have regulars that would come in, and soon they see me, they'd be like, "Yeah, I want him." But like that's not enough for me when the rest of my white peers done left with like with more than $200 that day. Like so, it's like and it's a classist thing. It's so much things that plays into effect, and it's like I done witnessed so many things during these past about to be 5 years since everything went down. I done witnessed a whole bunch of lies told. I done witnessed a whole bunch of people not telling the truth about who they help and how they help them. I done witnessed so many things within my 5 years, and it just showed. I knew what it was because I was like, when I was going through my whole court phase, I'm like, I posted this paperwork of them lying on my paperwork. I asked for help. Yeah, I never asked y'all for nothing else. I asked for help with my case so I don't go to jail. If it wasn't because if I didn't plead out, it would have been prison because of the simple fact the situation that I have when I was on probation and I put my hands on somebody behind a situation that I had. I was the dude had brain bleed when I put my hands on him, and I swear his peoples hit me when after I got out of jail. The people hit me. He was an ally. And he would say, listen, the kid that you hit was another ally, and I'm so disappointed. This, that, and third. And it kind of hurt me because I was like, yo, I didn't know. But at the same time, you got me in a place of vulnerability when I was not here out my mind. It was near, yeah, kind of towards the end of 2022 before I got locked up. Um, I had a situation, I had a mental health crisis. So I was like not in my right mind. And I was at the bar, things went left. And he tried to play, I was fighting the security guard. The kid, he went to try to tackle me. I ended up knocking him out. And that's when they charged me with assault in a second. Um, on top of me being out past probation. So mind you, I I'm not saying I don't follow rules on purpose, but in my eyes, I feel like that I shouldn't be following nothing because I was supposed to be off probation in 2021. Regardless of what they put on me, they charged me. If they would never charged me, I would have been on probation of March 2021. And none of this, none of that would have ever happened. I wouldn't have had to restart probation. I wouldn't have been on probation. They lied on my paperwork and it really fucked my head up at that time, you know? And with everything that's been said, at the end of the day, I, to this day, I feel that I help people that shouldn't have been helped because it's simple fact. What do I receive from it? Yeah, I receive all the glory of people understanding and knowing I came out for a good cause. But right now, I've been suffering for the past damn near 3 years. I've been suffering for the past 3 years. Nobody's been helping me. My mom helped me here and there, this, that, and the third. But like all, as I said, with death, a lot of things change in people's life. Before this, like nobody was helping me, barely helping me. I still even barely receive help without like people really understanding my situation upon things. Like I help so many people and all for what? Like I help really change. I help bring that energy for these people that's in these politician seats to be looking at our city. I done brought the energy that nobody else would bring. People, it was if I could have every recording of me being outside, people was coming up with names for me like War Chief. They respected the ground that I walked on. Like I couldn't go nowhere without somebody knowing who I was. I still can't, even when I'm back, even when if I'm in Rochester. There's people that still hold me to that standard because it's a simple fact. Yeah, regardless whatever I had going on, I was there. I put in the pain and effort. I put in the groundwork. I was taught by a good teacher. I learned my organization skills from a great teacher. Wasn't my father. It was gatekeeper Adrian. I learned from a great teacher. And at the end of the day, I respect that teacher for teaching me what I know now. Because with everything that's been done, I done reevaluated everything. And I'm like, these people shouldn't have been helped. Because one, I never will, I'm how people feel right now, and this is not only me, people feel that certain people that's in these politician seats right now are there because of what happened with Daniel Pruitt.
I was gonna ask you if that's what you felt, because that's how I believe with at least one or two in particular.
Yeah. And I believe the same, what you probably thinking right now is the same thing I've been thinking about for two years. During my time in jail, I literally sat down and I spoke to myself, Jaeylon. I said to myself, I was in my cell one day, after I came back from rec. I literally sat in my cell for about an hour and a half and I was like, yo, Jaeylon, you realize that these people that are in office really benefited from Daniel Pruitt. Do you
Because
realize that these people wouldn't have been?
one
Do
in
you
particular attempted to run and lost the first time.
right? And I was like, God damn. I was like, what if this never happened though? What if Daniel Pruitt never happened? Got me thinking. And I thought about it. I brought it up to a couple of my peers, and they were like, yeah, we've been feeling the same way. Oh, I just wanted to make sure. I feel that people benefited from Daniel Pruitt more than the people that actually was out front. Who was I was the main. I was the. It was me and a couple people that was main leads. Yeah, y'all coming out to talk, but is you handling a crowd of more than 200 people? When it come down to it, they not listening to you. You're not there next to them. it was only a few people. A lot of people don't got a lot of people don't got the courage, and a lot of people not a lot of people are afraid of the police. When you have a person like me that don't care, that don't fear no man of who has a gun or not, I don't care what they got. We have power in numbers. There's more of us than there are them. What can they do? They can't go out in the spectacle because then it's gonna look bad on them. They did that. Remember, they did that when we was on state, and they brought out all those guys in the gray gear and the riot shields. They did that when we was on state. I think it was that not that's not the federal building. Uh, I think that's the county building downtown, in front of the county building. I think it's that big old office where they matter of fact, I think they was talking about Daniel's law and but that building downtown when Mayor Lovely had them out there,
The
I was
public
like,
safety building?
no, not the public safety building, around the corner from there when you going up, not state, but on Main. My fault, I said state on Main. It's at the corner of Main. It's near the corner of Main and State. Usually where the burger guy be at. The right matter of fact, right across from the probation building. It's that big building right there from the probation building.
I'm drawing a blank on it too, though.
Yeah, but um with that being said, we there was protest. That was the first day. That was the first day when everybody was out there and they had the riot shields and stuff out there. This was actually before Daniel Pruitt. This was during the George Floyd events. So leading up to Daniel Pruitt.
Mm.
So that was the first instance. That's when everything started going down, when everybody started finding out July about Daniel Pruitt. Everybody started finding out about Daniel Pruitt in July. Joe made it known that that, and the third, this is what they done did to my brother. So, and with all that, um, I felt that I helped people that shouldn't have been helped. I felt that I put in too much effort, too much work in for you to tell me that, oh, I can send you links, this, that, and the third to like organizations that can help you with getting you into places. Yo, sometimes I'll be too nice, and that's my problem because I know if I do start talking crazy, my mouth will get reckless. So I'm like, in my mind, I'm like, motherfucker, I done help do so much fucking shit and set shit up for y'all to be in the position y'all in, for y'all to act like I don't fucking exist is fucking nuts to me. Like, I don't care about what position y'all hold, none of that. But during the time when y'all could have helped me with lawyer help to get into for me to do 16 months, when I told everybody on my live, they're trying to give me time over shit that they lied on. I was not supposed to be on probation anymore in 2021. I was supposed to be off that year. They reinstated me behind that. That's why I feel a certain type of way. I was supposed to be off probation. They reinstated me over a lie. I had good jobs before that lie was told. Now I'm getting dead end jobs. That fucked me over. So like at the end of the day, when I go and look at my stories and I see these posts that everybody having fun and doing this, that, and third, living their life, I'm like, half y'all got this shit because of me, because of the people that was out here really putting in fucking work. Why y'all just go about y'all way in the background writing up a fucking script that sound good to tell to the people. You wasn't going out one by one, introducing yourself, talking to these people that you call your allies, when all you did was just use them for a fucking vote. You use them for their fucking vote. Use them for their labor for a fucking vote. And that's how I highly felt, and that's how a lot of fucking people feel. Because one, can you tell me what's been changed since since these certain people been in the office?
Nothing. And I go to the city council meetings every so often, and I hear the same complaints that was given 6 months, a year, 2 years ago, still being given.
Me and Asa Berry, or Asa,
Asa Adams, the older
Asa
gentleman.
Adams. Yes, me and Asa Adams. There's a documentary that me and him was in. But during that documentary, this was not spoken in front of the documentary. We Me and him both agreed. He told me, Jaeylon, it don't matter who goes into that office of color. They following a white man's script. And at the end of the day, all these black people that's been in the office, what have they done since? What have they done since? What have they done since? We have plenty of black people that had the same type of mindset. We want this for the community. We want that for the community. But where it's at? Where it's at? He told me, I said, it don't I told him, yo, Ace, I feel the people that's running for the office, it's all for nothing. They doing this and it's gonna be for nothing. You know why? Because while all these other there's been great minds that's been in these office seats that were maybe of color. What have they done for us? Honestly. And just like you just said, you've been in some of these meetings and you said it's basically the same thing being said, same thing being told. Don't you think it's a repeating cycle?
Yes.
It's a repeating cycle, right? So at the end of the day, we just repeating the same cycle, just with different faces.
Mhm.
So why are we voting for these certain people if you're not really putting in no actual pain and effort? Now, I'm not saying y'all not putting in pain and effort. What I'm saying is it's a repeating cycle, just different faces. Got a good idea, but what does it matter if you're still going by a script that's still laid out in front of you by a racist system ran by white men, white women? All this is a script. Yeah, we're gonna have a new face coming here, but at the end of the day, you still work for us. We pay you. There's so many things that we may not know that be putting these people's front faces at their desk, but they expect that. I'm not gonna say they. You want me to you expect me to like be cool, buddy, buddy when I see y'all? Nah, man. I don't. I did 16 months for y'all. I did 16 months. They lied on my paperwork. I would have did my own time for me put my hands on old boy. I would have took that on the chin, but I wasn't supposed to be on probation on top of that. Old boy that I had that situation with, cool. I would have did whatever they gave me for that. I would have had like 6 months for that, or 4 to 6. I wasn't gonna trip about that. But since I was on probation too, they were like, nah, okay, we can max you out. Take this deal, we'll max you out. I'm like, fuck it. I'll be off probation, I'll take it. And I took it. And during the time I didn't know the information that I needed, I was supposed to tell them like, listen, can you put in this certain paperwork before sentencing so that I'll be able to work when I get out. I end up looking it up myself, and I was like, damn, I wish I would have knew that before I took my plea. And there's a lot of things that aren't that these and yo, there's a lot of things that these public defenders won't tell you. That they probably sometimes I'd be questioning, why are you a public defender if now I'm bringing this to your attention you did not know. These are things that you are supposed to know as you being in the field of being a lawyer. So what are you here for? You saying you're supposed to help me. You're supposed to be one of the best public defenders. What are you here for? What are you here for if you're not really helping me? What are you here for? What do you need from me? Like it, and everything it just made me question. It woke me up. Everything the past 3 years woke me up. but it made me question, why did I help people? And I never want to question, why did I help people, because I help people just because of the kind heart of my soul. Because my soul will do it just because of the simple fact, if I see a person in need, if I could do it, I'll do it. If I could help, I help. But when I feel that I've been taken advantage of for another person's gain, that's something I'll never accept. I'll never accept. Because one, you played you not if it if it is intentional, if it was intentional, don't play me in my face. But with everything going on, I wasn't thinking too deep into it, right? Because at the time it's for the movement, this and the third. But I'm like, what movement? What really actually what movement?
The promotion of a person going from I don't even know. Because I mean, to provide some context for those that are watching this video, um, CJI is Community Justice Initiative, FTP is Free the People, and they're both community organizations in the city of Rochester. And they both of these community organizations are heavily, 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 heavily Black. And
Very much
so
so.
I love that you brought that up because that's one of the things that I tell people all the time. Like representation don't mean squat.
At all.
There's research that backs it. Like it don't matter. You could have your skin folk in there, but that don't mean you're not gonna get the same treatment as by a white person. But I had later on came to find that one of the individuals from Free the People, Ashley, she was supposed to had ran for mayor, while the other individual, Stanley, ran with Kim and I think it was like a few others of them. They had this little coalition and they were all running for city council.
I was
And
you
so it was,
not to
go
cut
ahead.
you off, not to cut you off real quick. I was supposed to be a part of that. I was gonna run legislator out of Beechwood District. Asa pulled me out of it. He was like, Jaeylon, don't do it. And I was like, I'm gonna listen. I'm gonna listen. He ain't gonna tell me not to do it for no reason. He told me, Jaeylon, don't do it. Don't run.
Mm,
He was the only reason. He was the reason why I wasn't gonna do it. Because I was like, let's try to get more people voting. Let's try to get more Black people in office. Because yeah, you still need more numbers than just two people that's in that office. You need more. You need a majority vote. You need more votes to override something. You need more votes to make something happen. But when you got majority of the room saying no, it's what you expect,
right.
you know?
But it's funny you said that because like once I found out how the coalition was running, it was interesting because one person, and I always thought like if your heart is in it, right? You running for a political office because you are fighting for the people. If you are given the ultimatum, you could run for office, but you have to quit your current state level job. If it was for the people, wouldn't you toss that state level job position to the side and continue to run for mayor? I mean, that's what I would think, but Ashley decided to not run for mayor, where Stanley still went forward with running for city council, which she ended up getting, or however, she identifies. But Stanley made it to office, and that was one of the main things because I never knew you by name, except for your stage name. Your
Right.
I've always knew you by Echo, your stage name. And so once I like when I came across this article, it said something about an individual arrested for I want to say it was like something with a police car or something wild. And then I seen Jaeylon Johnson. I'm like, I wonder if this is the same kid, that was in the front because I remember there was always the guy with the snare drum that was banging the drum. Like you said, there was Adrian, and then it's these people that ran for political office. It was you, and there was a scatter of like to me they presumed to be females. I don't know how they identify, but there was
A
like a
couple
few
of them,
others.
they, them, couple of them, they,
Yeah.
them, of the
But
LGBTQ community. Couple of leaders that was from the LGBTQ plus community. that was out there. And again, like I said, gatekeeper Adrian, great teacher. To all of us, the people that were out front, to all of us, don't fear the police. Get the message across the right way. We don't need violence to get no message across. So, but continue.
But I thought it was interesting because once I read in the article that you were arrested, the main thing I just remember is the repeated, like, loud outcries of what was the stupid chant that they had? It was some we burn ish down. And
Mm-hmm.
it was along the lines of, stuff like that. And it was all this like what you would consider violent inducing rhetoric being used by the main two individuals that were running the organization that were the faces of the Daniel Prue protest. But I always thought it was interesting because once it came down to people started to get arrested, they weren't amongst those that were arrested. And then it's like, well, what are y'all doing for those that were arrested? Because these people were working with y'all, like y'all all were connected. So I don't understand how, a few of them get incarcerated while the rest of y'all are still out here chilling, running for office and with your PR stunts. And that was the main thing that stood out to me. It was like, how do you just get left dry like that? Because it didn't even just happen to you, it happened to Agape. And I think it was
Yep.
Agape who actually put name to face for me with you, where he told me, he was like, hey, you should reach out to this young man, Jaeylon Johnson. He was arrested for X, Y, Z. And he was telling me this in a letter that we were writing to each other while he was in there. And I was just like, damn. It's like you said, they exploited y'all. They used your bodies to promote their little, agendas and this thing with Daniel Prude to where they politicized it to the point that it just got them into office. And once they were into office, nothing resulted from it. Maybe an act or some legislation that nobody really know details about pertaining to Daniel Prude, and some supposedly pay out to the family, but outside of that, there was no change in the police department. There was no change in the procedure on how they handle protests and whatnot. I mean, if anything, the only thing that came from that protest was, in my opinion, them criminalizing protests even more. I mean, shortly after, it became illegal to possess a bulletproof vest in the state of New York. And that happened literally after citizens were wearing bulletproof vests because the police were shooting us.
Like you would just want us to let you hit us with pepper ball bullets. Like those hurt. If I hit you with a pepper ball bullet, you think it ain't gonna hurt? But it's to repel us. Repel us from what? We not doing nothing. We're just standing at one spot. We just moving forward, standing at one spot. We didn't aggressively hit nobody. We didn't touch nobody. So at the end of the day, why are you shooting pepper ball bullets at us? Why are we being tear gassed with expired tear gas at that? Why are we being beat up in the street?
I'm with you. And then one of the things that repeatedly came up was that citizens were throwing water bottles at the police officers. It's like, what the freak is a water bottle? What is a water
Right.
bottle compared to what the freak they do to us and what they did do to us, you know?
Like, if you gonna get mad at a water bottle, you have weapons in your hand. First of all, y'all don't even realize, yo, they shot City in his eye during one of the protests. Like, you could have took that man eye out, bro. He was bleeding. Luckily, it hit him like right here at the bridge, like right here. And he was bleeding. I had to pull him out. I'm like, yo, bro, back up. Back up. Nah, they just got you in your eye, bro. Back up. You hurt right now. Like at the end of the day, the shit that y'all can do to us though, compared to what we did, and I'm not even gonna say we, because there was random people that
Random.
was going by throwing water bottles at y'all. It wasn't even the group as a whole throwing water bottles at y'all. So at the end of the day, I could care less about a water bottle. If I was a police officer and you shot a water bottle at me, I wouldn't even be upset. It's a water bottle. I'm not gonna be fucking hurt. I'm not hurt by it. Long as you not if anybody, if I was to work for the police department and they put me out there at that front line, do you not know how quick I would turn the fuck around and go back inside the public safety building?
I'm with you.
I'm the type to make a message. I'm the type I'll make a message. I'll go with them. I would have went with them. Fuck a job that treat people like that. I would have went with them. I'm the type to make a message and make it clear from any of my bosses, for anybody that know me. I'll make a message clear. What you're doing is fucking wrong. Bottom line, you're out here for no reason. All we doing is protesting. That's it.
It
Now
was a,
you either could listen, or just sit there and just not do nothing to us.
and then it was even mentioned that you had what they presumed to be as agitators. It's these outside factors that most people presume them to be feds, where they came out to the protests and was throwing water bottles and doing all this wild stuff that was supposedly the citizens. But the thing that really like gets me is like people complain about the response of the people, or yeah, the response of the people. But it's like you have people acting out in their frustrations, their helplessness, and X, Y, Z. Now, I don't know what your opinions are on January 6th, the whole thing with the Capitol, but I don't presume that to be, I don't look at that as like a riot. You know what I'm saying? I look at it exactly how it was when we had the Daniel Prude, protest. It's a protest. It's just when you get a large group of people, and it's like you said earlier, we outnumber the police. We outnumber politicians. If you add up every single politician, judge, lawyer, motherfucking police department, that could even include the people that hand out fishing tickets. You know what I'm saying? Because you fishing without a license. We
Yeah.
still outnumber all those people. And so when you have a large group of people that shows up, it's gonna seem a bit disorganized. I mean, we've seen it historically. 1964 race riot in Rochester, New York. We've seen it in Birmingham, Alabama. I mean, when you get
Selma.
these large groups of people, the police lose their mind, especially when majority of them are colored. But then when you have like the January 6th protests, when it's predominantly white people, gun toting too, not even water bottle carriers, gun toting,
Mm-hmm.
they're not met with the same, oomph. And it's like, I'm honestly not even shocked, and I can't even be mad because when I look at the historical context behind it, I mean, like you said earlier, it's just this repeating cycle, a repeating cycle. I mean, I'm reading this book here, Blood at the Root, and it talks about in 1912 in Forsyth County, where you had these white people that was lynching black people all across motherfucking Georgia, especially Forsyth, to the extent that their local sheriffs were scared of them, their politicians, they wouldn't even go touch down to any of those towns and cities because that's how terrified these white people were of white people. But then colored folk, predominantly us black folks, because that's when we mostly see it, we're demonized when they're sitting here talking about, well, you're tearing up the buildings that's in your neighborhood. If that's us, like you said, we're not even sure if that is us. It would make sense because people are acting out of frustration.
Right.
People continue to make the same complaints over and over and over, and yet nothing has changed.
So, and it goes down to say, what do we do to break the repeating cycle? All these, all these obstacles that's been thrown in the way just to repeat itself over and over again. What do we do to break them? I gave them the ideas of breaking them. Plenty of peers gave them the ideas of how to break the repeating cycle, but nobody don't want to see it through. And not only see it through, it's not enough background support and it's not enough support. You have to dismantle, completely disfigure these offices. You have to disfigure these offices. You can't just put 1 to 2 people in the office and think something's gonna happen. No, you have to dismantle the whole office. You have to have like-minded people that can have a great speech, that can put on a great show for the people that the people in the audience that they're looking for. They have to present themselves in the perfect and best way in order to disfigure and dismantle the politician fucking bracket. Because again, with the politicians, it's not enough black people that are politicians compared to white people. And just because we put, don't mind you, just because we put black people in there, all black, all skin folk and kinfolk, just because we do that, and I want that to be very, very clear. Just because we put black people in there, don't mean I could name people that are of our color that back the police, that basically uphold white supremacy, and they might as well call themselves white. And they as the skin complexion of me and you that are black. So that's when I go to say that everybody ain't what they seem, and you have to understand, you have to literally understand who you dealing with. If you don't understand who you dealing with, you will always be kept under the sun. You'll never fucking know what's gonna happen with that person if you don't know the ground you're playing on dealing with them. And I didn't know what I was dealing with until after, when everything was too late. Don't be like me and wait until it's too late. Some things that are out of your control. This for your viewers. Never wait until it's too late. Once you get that first gut feeling that I did have, but I didn't act upon it because I needed more information, but it was too late. Never wait on it. Once you feel that in your gut hit you, like this not right, confront it. Present yourself in the right way about your feelings. You are never make it seem that you're invalidated about your feelings upon a situation. A lot of people would deflect upon you expressing your feelings about a situation that you don't agree with, knowing that 9 out of 10, what you're about to tell them, they're going to feel some type of way because of the simple fact now they've been caught. Mm-hmm. But everybody don't know why this is going on. I bet you if I would have said something that the only reason you have these people come out here is to continue pushing forward your agenda. If I would have said something, immediately everybody would have saw it. I don't go live. I don't do none of that no more. When I went live, I had so many viewers on my live. People would tune into my live to know what I'm about to say. They was ready. They was ready for me during these times, ready for me to go on the next live to see what I was gonna say, to see what new information I'm about to bring. That was the one thing that I never did. That an agenda is being pushed for people to benefit rather than the actual groundwork, putting in the actual work and not gaining nothing from it. People gained from the situation. I didn't gain not a thing. I didn't want nothing out of it. Now, regardless, I won't never knock my blessings because out of it, yeah, I'm still in a lawsuit that I possibly could still win. So, like, I'm not, but who the fuck wanted to have a seizure during the protest?
Exactly.
Not me. I ain't never had no type of medical problems of that nature ever in my life. So, like, who wants to have a seizure during the protest? Who wants to have a seizure at all? So at the end of the day, I'll never knock my blessings away. Like I'm still fighting the 4 years since all this went down. I'm still fighting the whole lawsuit, and our lawsuit just went federal. So I'm just here waiting for that, handling my things with the court. I just never want nobody to make the same mistake that I did because during that time I was younger than what I am now. I was 21 and I was dealing with people way older than me. People in their 30s, late 20s that know what they want out of the situation. And they got what they wanted out of the situation. I feel that I was played. Because if this was what you wanted from the beginning, you should have made that known and I wouldn't have fucked with y'all the way I fucked with y'all. I could have pushed some shit myself without y'all. All I had to do was create a page. That's all I had to do. They knew who I was already. Everybody in the Rochester knew who Jaeylon Johnson was when he got arrested. They put me all over the news. So like I'm not one to always be in the camera light. I'm not one to always, I'm not trying to look for attention. That was not that. I was there for a right cause. Y'all was there to push an agenda that you can't push without a situation of that nature happening. It had to
No, that
take
you're
a
right.
man dying. It had to take a man to die for you to take complete control of the situation and gain everything that you wanted out of it. A man had to die for you to a man had to die for y'all to be in the certain position that y'all in. And I could care less about who gonna not like me. If whoever see this, I could care less who gonna like me or not. I don't like nobody that allowed me to sit in jail for 16 months when y'all could have helped me. So yeah, I never been cool with it. I'ma always keep it 100. Never been cool with the fuckery. I'll never be cool with the fuckery. I had to sit in jail for 16 months while y'all gained everything, been living y'all life. While I had to go sit in jail because of a fucking weak ass agenda that y'all wanted to push. I could care less about y'all being in the office because it don't matter that you in office anyway. You just a waste of fucking space. Every last one of them a waste of fucking space. It don't matter who's in there. It's a repeating cycle. It takes more. It takes way more. It takes way more, and nobody don't realize that. It takes way more than just getting one or two people in there to actually make change. You have to dismantle a whole system. You have to literally tear it the fuck apart and rebuild it back up. Y'all don't have the power and the support for that. Could have got there, but y'all didn't push harder enough. You had opportunities. There was opportunities. The one guy who was going to each protest in like every city during the George Floyd shit. There was one guy who was famous. I forgot his name, but he came to Rochester. FTP recorded the event. He was there. He came to Rochester. Um, and I'm like, y'all had opportunities. Y'all could network with these certain people. Y'all had opportunities to not just only have it here in Rochester. You could have gained support. I'm the only one who left to go to Washington, D.C. to go support in Washington, D.C. the Black Panthers during all this shit right before Biden was going in office. I asked who want to come to D.C. I'm about to go to D.C. We about to take a road trip down there. Go say Daniel Prue's name down there. Only one who went down there. Only one who went down there with a certain group, with a group of people that I went with, of a few allies and whatnot, and my ex partner. So when I say there's opportunities to really push for more change and more support, y'all put two and two together, and you tell me what you come up with. There was nothing to be pushed. They got what they wanted. They won. In all honesty, they won. Joe Prue didn't win nothing, not a dime. He ain't win shit. I ain't win shit. I will say this information though. We did start the Daniel Prude Foundation Incorporated. So that's gonna be in effect. Um Anybody who willing to donate will have things set up within probably the next 6 months. They're already legally documented, so that name is documented and it can't be taken away. Um, there's a lot of things that's not been said. There's a lot of things that hasn't been done. Again, y'all put two and two together. Me, and everybody else that's gonna view this, that's gonna hear this, we all know what's going on. We all not done. We all know what's going on. We all know the picture. It's in plain sight, crystal clear. Daniel Prude, everybody who was involved in Daniel Prude, if they didn't go to jail, they benefited. If they didn't benefit, they went to jail. Like, it's there for you. The people got off. People got off. First of all, motherfuckers got one person put their hands on the police and you got off. You got off. I kid you not. If it was me, I'd be dead. I'd be dead. If it was me, I'd be dead.
One thing I will say
Give me 1 second. Go ahead.
I do thank God for at least Asa Adams telling you like beforehand, like, nope, don't even get involved in that because I mean, I've never dealt with him like for one-on-one per se, because as you know, like there's a lot of quarreling that goes on amongst activists. And
There is. Very much so.
yeah, I tend to stay to myself, but at least from hearing what you said with him using his age, his experience, his wisdom to tell you to avoid a certain, situation that could have probably worked more negatively for you, I applaud him for that. And I do think it's interesting that you said that an individual was not arrested, or at least charges wasn't like brought forth for putting hands on a police officer. But then that goes along to what we see like in the most recent election, the presidential election, where you have both parties, Republican and Democrat, pandering to the poor people, the disenfranchised people, just as a way to exploit them. And I feel like that's what was done with a lot of the people like you who were basically the staff of these organizations that was helping them get the outreach in the community that they couldn't get on their own. Because one thing, Ashley, her last name alone is like very popular in Rochester, New York. The Gant family name is on rec centers and stuff like that. So that shows you that there's a historic and a wealthy attachment with her. I don't really know much about Stanley's people, but I assume it's like everyone always say, it's not what you know, but who you know.
Who
And
you know?
so, yep, if you connected well enough, you can avoid stuff that a person with no connections, no money, could avoid.
And you feel me? Like, the whole time, I'm not gonna lie, like, I didn't have the connections. I didn't have none of that. Now, me, I started building connections because of the simple fact I see y'all making these connections with certain people. I need to start doing the same because now I need to even the playing field.
Hmm.
Because if I get in the gym, you ain't gonna help me. Clearly, y'all didn't help me. I had to do 60 months, so clearly y'all didn't help me. Let's be for real. Like, at the end of the day, who was helped? Who was helped? Y'all damn sure didn't help me. Cause I took a whole riot charge for y'all. First of all, they should have been charging y'all for it. But since my name was buzzing, since they was like, you know what, nah, we want him, we'll take him. The U.S. Marshals put up to my house and booked me over at my around the corner from my grandmother's house.
Mm.
I'm the only one who got booked by the U.S. Marshals. That's why I said there's a difference. There's a difference between me and them because they fear what they can't control and who they can control. You can't control me. They fear a person that they can't control. You're not gonna control me. Even when I was locked up, you won't control me. They fear a person that don't fear them. I don't fear y'all because y'all don't put fear in my heart. I want everybody like that behind me. Because if there's 100 motherfuckers that think like me, that that think the same thing, that's a bigger problem. We gotta eliminate him. Let's pack him up for 16 months. They wanted to send me to prison. That would have been
16 months just sound crazy because the way I was taught with criminal justice, anything over a year is prison time. So they literally had you sitting in jail for over a year.
I was in there over a year.
What?
I was in there for over a year.
And that's
I
the
was in
part
there
that
for my
that doesn't,
24th. I was in there
because
for my
I,
24th. I was
uh-huh.
in there for my 24th birthday. I was in there for for a whole Christmas. I was in there for a whole year.
That's insane because literally, like, it's not even by month that we're taught like anything 364 days and less, that's jail time. Anything over 364 days is prison. So it's crazy that they basically gave you prison, like you said, you were
Prison
in
numbers.
prison, but they got you sitting in jail. Like it just is.
Like, do you
I
not know how many people, yo, and that's not even the craziest part. You know, there's people still sitting in jail fighting cases.
I continue to tell
Yo,
people like look on your local jail census. It
there's a
shows it.
person that I know, right, that I heard of, and I end up being in the same pit with him. He literally was sitting down in the county for 3 years. 3 years.
Damn.
Do you not know how much that could take a toll on a person's brain? And I only sat there for a year.
And
If
jail
and
is not equipped for nobody to be there for long periods of time. That's why they send them to
long periods
prison.
of time, like in your whole time, they don't understand what I went through while I was in jail. I literally had to fight every other week. I had to do mad shit. If people can't send me money, I have to stink. I like I have to shower every single day. I don't got deodorant because I don't got the books or the money for it. Like it was I was like I banked on Indy, like I said, Indy helped me. But during that first like 6 months until I was able to get a hold of Indy, I was struggling. Like people looking at me like, bro, you don't got no family on the outside that can send you money, bro. Like, bro, you gotta go get in the shower, this, that, and the third. And like I'll be like, I shower every day. I don't got no deodorant. I don't know what you want. I'm not built for jail. I shouldn't be in here at all. This jail shit, y'all can keep. Y'all know y'all coming to jail. I'm not. What am I coming to jail for? I'm here. I'm not. I'm not supposed to be here. That's my thing. I wasn't supposed to be here. I had everything I need if I was on the outside. I'm not supposed to be here. Like you getting limited to 3 meals. First of all, 3 meals a day. If you got money, you get commissary. But then on top of that, they give you food that deteriorates your body, giving you soy, this, that, and the third, and they think that's okay. Like y'all don't realize what they're putting in these young black men and people bodies in these jails. And I don't think y'all understand that. Like they having us eat dog food in that fucking jails, and y'all don't understand that. Like whenever y'all have y'all peoples go to jail, like I wish they could be able to take a picture to send to y'all what they having us eat. And then y'all wonder why y'all we ask for commissary to our family members and whatnot. Like they be really struggling in there. Like, and then we have to eat the bullshit. Yo, I came out of jail. Surprisingly, yo, when I came out of jail, I was 196. I ain't never reached 196 in my life. The highest weight I ever reached was like 175. I was 196. You know why? I was eating other people trays that they didn't want because I was hungry. And I said, fuck it. I was 196. I was a meatball when I came out. And I'm 5'6". I'm overweight. I'm 5'6", 196. I'm way overweight. I was a whole meatball. Like like within the last years or year, 2 years that I've been out now, I lost all that. I lost all that. I'm back to the regular range that I'm usually in, like 150 to 160. Like, so when I tell y'all, like, y'all, if y'all got family members that are in that jail, understand if they ask y'all for commissary, it's for a good reason. It's for a good reason. If they ask you, it's no bullshit being told. They whatever they told you, uh, you should look out for them because they're not being treated well in these jails. They sleep with mice every night. Sleep with mice and roaches every fucking night. Like we have to put shit under our doors so the mice don't get in our into our cells. Sometimes
And
that don't even fucking work.
when you're in jail, because I have an idea of how the prisons work, but in jail, do they have the minimal services that the prisons have, like the bare minimum health care and education, job, all that
So
stuff?
within the jail, so you can go to school. Um, I believe you can still go to get your GED inside, but I believe they set that for so they separate the adults from the minors. Minors go with other minors, I believe. Um, but yeah, you can go to school, but I think that's the only program for real. Like the programs that they have like in the jail manuals, they don't do that shit. Like I remember I went to try to do a conditional discharge with them and they don't do that shit. Like the shit that they put in those books, them shits is not even active. Half the shit that they preach, half the shit that they say that they do for programs, they don't do. Now I will say for school wise, they do have shit for school. So if you looking to get your GED and whatnot, cool. That's accessible to you. But for anything else, nah, they don't offer nothing.
So if you had
Besides healthcare, besides like yeah, they got their nurses. They nurses do come up there to each floor. They come with a med cart. If you get any medicines or whatnot, they come with your meds. They come if you need Tylenol or whatnot, they come with that. They check people blood pressure. Like if they because certain people are classified for their certain shit that they have on them. So like they come for certain people who has meds at this time, meds at this time. There'll be nurses that come literally at 5 o'clock in the morning to wake somebody up to take their medicine. So they got the healthcare whatnot. I will say they good on if there's an emergency, they'll get you out of there. They'll get you out to go to the hospital if it's like an emergency and whatnot. But for
how do they disseminate it? Like is it like you've been here longer, so you get first dibs or
nah, when the so like if you want to go to school or anything like that, all you got to do is go up to the deputy and he'll let the teacher know. And the teacher will end up coming up to you and asking you like, do you want to come at this day tomorrow, blah blah blah, and you'll be able to go. With the nurse cart, the nurse come in the morning at 7:30. Nurse come in the morning. Well, nurse come by like four or five times out the day. So like nurse be there like 5, come back at like 7, right before lunch around 11. They come at 11. They come at and like after 6. So like the nurse comes frequently through each floor. The nurse comes frequently.
I wonder
So
what degree treatment they have because I remember when I was talking to Agape while he was in there, he told me about like there were several gentlemen who were supposed to be released from Monroe County Jail because at the time when we had Cuomo as the mayor, he was saying that whole like to lighten the load for mass incarceration and release the people that were more likely to be negatively impacted by COVID. So they were supposed to let go of all these people. But Agape was telling me how they didn't follow that mandate. Well, and when I say they, as in like Monroe County Jail didn't. In
Yeah,
addition to that, that he was saying like there was this one gentleman amongst several others, but he specifically mentioned this one guy who had like all these different type of health issues that were barely being taken care of while he was in there. And so that's why I felt the need to ask just to see like what was your opinion or your perspective while you was in there. Because I mean, you seem pretty healthy aside from the fact of going in there and blowing up from the poor food choices. But so I don't expect you to just be sitting up in the nursing, stuff and whatnot. But
yeah.
maybe
And
from what you've seen with others.
for the most part, like I said, like besides like when you on the outside, you can eat when you want, but like you're now restricted because now you eating bullshit you don't want to eat. You eating bullshit that you haven't ate before. Like we don't eat soy on the outside. I don't eat soy on the outside. What y'all making me eat soy burgers, soy hot dogs. Who wants to eat that?
I don't even know what that is. Like, what is
Like
that?
when you look at the burger, you could tell it's not no real burger. Like you could tell. You could look at the burger. I'm telling you, like it's black. Yo, they give you soy sausages in the morning. It looked like a black piece of charcoal.
That's wild.
I bullshit you not. The best thing that I could ever say that is edible is the tray cakes that they give you. Like they have the blueberry ones. That's the best thing that they ever probably did. But for the most part, every other fucking thing is dirt, straight trash. Like it's either fake bologna, salami. I literally remember like each damn near course meal, like fake macaroni, like soy sauces, soy hot dogs, soy beans, soy baked beans. Like it was all the same thing. Soy chicken patties. How can you do that? Like it was disgusting. Like it was
It
disgusting.
sounds like it.
It was disgusting. And like if you hungry, you just gonna be like fuck it. Like you just gonna be like fuck it, yo. You don't want that? All right, cool. It was terrible. It was terrible, but I had to get through it. So
And you did mention that there was times where you had to fight. Obviously, you didn't have the funds to be able to get necessities. Would from your experience, because you said you've been in just jail, which jail, I mean, it doesn't matter, jail, prison, it's like you said, it's all the same. So, but you've
yeah,
been there for 16 months. In your experience of being there for 16 months, would you say that you feel that jail was rehabilitating to you or any of the people alongside of you, or would you say more that it's more debilitating? It breaks you down, tears you up, makes you, more likely to come back.
jail was not her rehabilitating. Jail will never be rehabilitating. You cutting off access to the things that I would have on the outside. You cutting access off to when people want to see me every single day. You cutting off access for me to go do what I want to do. What is rehabilitating about that? You are putting a restriction on my phone calls, and then on top of that, I have to pay for a phone call when Wi-Fi on the outside is free. I could video chat somebody on Messenger from my phone, but I can't have my phone in jail. So Never let for the viewers, never let them ever say that jail is rehabilitating. Never let them say prison is rehabilitating. It is not. That is bullshit. Straight bullshit. Y'all don't realize what we go through. While I was in jail. I wasn't even in prison, and I was going through shit while I was in jail. I literally was fighting for people for no reason. I literally fought more than 8 people in my 16-month time period. I fought 8 people, and it was for no, and it was really for no reason. Like I really fought a dude before I got out. Like I got jumped before I got out behind a vending machine because I was in front and he wanted to get me out of my spot and thought I was gonna go for it. So they end up jumping me. I literally fought people for no reason. Like I usually have, if I have to fight, it's usually for a reason. I don't just fight nobody for no reason. But in jail, you will fight people for no reason. People will punch on you for no reason because you in the same pit with them. People be but they be bored. They know they going to prison and they know they not coming back. They know they not coming back. And it be those people that ain't coming back, they'll be the ones to do it. A lot of people that be the ones that put hands on people for no reason, they not coming back from jail. They going upstate, not coming back. And a lot of them be crash outs and don't care about life because they know that it's over for them. So, like, just to understand, if your peoples or anybody y'all know go to jail or prison, it's worse in prison. But in jail, they still going through it too. They like people really be getting in fights for no reason. Like they be calling code ones, yo. When I was in there was code ones like if not every day, every other single day. That's when you know a fight happened when they call a code one. Literally every other day, somebody done fought. Somebody has fought. People are getting switched to each different pit throughout the whole jail, and they have to keep certain people away from each other. Then on top of that, you have to remember for viewers that don't know, the jails is ran by gang activity. Gang activity is a thing.
Mm-hmm.
So understand, majority of these gang members that are in jail don't got nothing to do and they bored. And if they don't, and you don't even gotta do nothing. They will punch on you. It happened to me. They will punch on you. You don't even gotta do nothing. You don't gotta do nothing at all. You could just be there. You could just be there. They're gonna do it because they bored. They do it because they bored and got nothing to do. So like understand while you in jail, you're not really safe at all. Them CLs can't keep you safe for nobody. Unless you want to go to PC. That's the only way you're gonna be safe. That's the only way you're gonna be safe. But who wanna go to protective custody? I'm not, I didn't go. I didn't go to protective custody at all during my time, and I fought more than 8 people. Every time that I fought, I call home to one of my people, letting them know I fought, and that I'll call y'all probably tomorrow, this time the third, because they would try to take away my phone restrictions. And the whole time I used to tell them like, "Yo, why y'all trying to penalize me? They're the initiator. You could run back the camera." So like, there's nothing rehabilitating about jail. There's nothing rehabilitating about prison. And this is all I'm saying about jail. I promise you, of all the stories that I've been done heard from from offenders coming back into jail to go back up to prison, prison is 10 times fucking worse. Prison is 10 times worse, and you can die in prison. They'll kill you in prison and make it seem that it was an accident. So understand, none of that shit is rehabilitating. and y'all willingly allow the system. There's a lot of people that go to prison that don't need to go to prison. There's a lot of people that go to prison for certain shit that don't need to be there. Now, regarding now negating, I'm not talking about murderers and shit like that. But like, why am I going to prison because I had weed of amount of quantity? And now weed is legal everywhere. So it's like, do you not know how many people been locked up for weed in the past before it's been legalized? There's a lot of people that our district attorney sent to prison for weed. There's a lot of people that went to prison for weed in Rochester, New York, that the district attorney sent to prison. Y'all don't know that Miss Dorley, that's a wicked white woman, man. That's the devil itself when it comes to that district attorney position. That is the devil herself. Yeah, she got some shit with her. She got some shit with her.
Oh, Jesus. They all a hot mess.
I'm telling you.
Oh gosh. Well, you hit a lot of great points in this conversation. I mean, from lawyers not being your friends, because a lot of people have this misconception that when it comes to public defenders, that they're supposed to be for you just because they're allotted to you by the Constitution. A lot of people overlook, I mean, they see it with the education. They say, well, federal education, it depends on federal funding, and so it's crap. And it's like, well, you can't expect much more with the courts
Right.
because they're federally providing you an attorney. These are people who, I mean, I even had a public defender told me to my face in front of my wife that she don't get paid enough for this. She was ready to, like throw in the towel. And I'm just looking at this lady like, you don't get paid enough for this, but nigga, we talk about me going to jail. Like, I don't
Right.
give a damn if you was paid $2. You provided to me. Like, I'm supposed to have effective counsel. So I love the points that you touched about lawyers not being your friend. Public defenders ain't your friend. Judges aren't
They're
your
not.
friend. The
Whole
prosecutor ain't
time
your
they
friend.
working with the DA, they making a agreement with the DA behind your back. When you go back, boom, I don't witness it happen with me when I was a kid, when I was 16. When you go in that back room to go down to the jail for when they transfer you, if you go to regular court and then that judge be like, knock on with that gavel and be like, oh yeah, you gonna serve some time and you gotta go into jail, and they remand you in that jail. There's a lot of shit that public defender be talking to with that DA to come up with plea agreements, this, that, and the third behind your back. It happened with me. Don't let it happen to you. They not working for y'all for real. That's why I said that all that shit is a game for them. Like whole time, why do y'all think they give y'all public defenders? It's to run through all y'all cases quick, easy, so that they can get through all the cases that they have. It's not because that you don't have a lawyer that you can't pay because you don't got the money to pay. It's so that they can get through all y'all cases and just send y'all through the system so that when you come back, if you come back, they got you in the system already to know, listen, he coming back, I bet. Now we're gonna send him into jail. This is all a game. It's all scriptured. This is all a game. They've been playing it for years. They'll lock you up. This is why when they call us statistics, when they call people statistics, it's because the simple fact once you done went in that system, you'll never get out that shit. Once you done left high school, they understand who you are now. Once you
And
dropped out of high school,
you're
once you
not
dropped out of
acknowledged
high
by the
school,
individual either.
exactly. Once you dropped out of high school, they counting you on that percentage. He's likely to go into criminal activity. So understand,
You just become a number then.
you become a number, and they keep track of every single person. They keep track of every single person. Why do you think they go through so many public cases. Public defenders go through so many cases. Why do you think they always got a big ass workload? Anybody that's probably in jail right now could tell you they barely see their public defender. They only see their public defender when they go to court.
I love that you brought that up because that has been like a major thing people have been bringing up with the Diddy thing. Oh, he's not able to talk to his lawyer and develop a legit defense. And it's like, nigga, this is a common issue in the criminal justice system. He ain't the only one. This is all the other millions of people in there. Continue. You make a
But
great point.
it's like it's like there's so many cases that they have, and y'all have, and there's a lot of people that haven't realized that behind closed doors, they're making plea agreements already with the DA. And then they come back to you and give you bullshit ass reasons of why this should work. That, and the third. When whole time you went to the DA who was right there next to you across the way from us, and you was speaking to get a plea agreement that I didn't agree to with you or said that I wanted to do. So again, for anybody that's watching this, if you got the money, get a lawyer. But if you plan on doing anything, if you don't plan on doing anything, but you got caught up, you better be upfront with your public defender. Let your public defender know. If you don't got that same public defender when you let them know after you done seen this, then you know that public defender was gonna do exactly what was said in this podcast today. That lawyer gonna be scared because the simple fact you know more information than you supposed to know. They're not gonna expect you to know shit like that. They're gonna immediately be alarmed by you because one, they already come into the room as if they are the smartest in the room. They're already gonna come into the room. Listen, I know this is and the third. That's what all these public defenders, they'll come in the room as if they're the smartest in the room. Never letting them know that they the smartest in the room. Don't ask them questions. You don't ask them questions. You make your statement of, I don't want no plea agreements. I don't want you to talk to the DA about no plea agreements. That's what they do on a daily basis. That's how the system been ran for countless years. That's what they've been doing. It's a systematic thing that they got down to a T. They have hundreds of people that they see every single day. They can't keep track of all y'all. That public defender can't see every single one of y'all, but only see you when you come into that courtroom.
Amen.
Like you make it make sense. Like
Jesus
whole
knows,
time they
folks.
have to know your name. They know your name when they pull it up in front of them because of that
That
docket that they
tell
have.
you.
They know your name and know what you look like because of that docket that they now pulled, and that's in front of the judge, and now it's in front of your lawyer.
Mm-hmm.
They don't know you for real. They know you once that docket is put in front of their face. If you got the money, pay for a lawyer. But I'm telling you now, if you got a public defender, make your case known. I want someone who's going to represent me. If you can't represent me and you're going to work with the DA, I don't want you.
And to piggyback off of that, I encourage everyone, go to trial. Stop taking pleas because this is how they sucking people into the system and they're obliterating your lives. I mean, we've heard Jaeylon mention how, he's been in the system pretty young, but he take a plea, probation, and then it's like once you in that system, it is hard as freak to never go back. Never go back. And you got
You
to
can't
deal with
rewrite
them
that
messing
shit.
with, yeah, they mess, like you said, they're messing with your employment. And once you mess with someone's employment, you mess with every aspect of their life, children, freaking education, transportation, you know what I'm saying? And so it touches so many different aspects. I encourage you, fight it, go to trial, go to trial, go to trial. Because
And
nine
half the
times out of
shit,
10, they don't have no case against
they
you.
don't. They don't. And I promise you, if they listen, if they don't have, if you, your lawyer, whoever you got, will make it known if they have enough information to put you away. And they'll tell you that there's no way of getting out of this.
And sometimes they'll say that just to pump fear into you, just to make you make a
Exactly.
decision out of duress.
Exactly. That's why I said
Hmm.
make that clear statement. If you're gonna work for the DA, I don't want you. You find somebody else to represent me. And you have the right to get another public defender. You have a right to get another attorney. A lot of these people that are public defenders and attorneys work with the DA, and they do not give a fuck because they got so many cases that they have to deal with,
The sooner they could get you off their docket, their lives will be better.
and they'll be on to the next one. They
Yep.
have a daily quota to fulfill, just like the police. That's why all that shit tie hand in hand. They got to fulfill a daily quota, and the police do too.
And just to provide some perspective, if you have a public defender, you are sharing that one public defender with at least 99 other people. 99.
So
And
just
they ain't got
imagine.
no help. They don't have no staff. You hear, I mean, a lot of them complain about barely being paid well. So if they barely paid, you best believe they don't have the staff to help these people. That one body dealing with all those cases by themselves. You best believe they just try to hurry up and get you out of here.
And they just skimming through your shit 9 times out of 10. They skimming through your shit, getting the important shit out the way. Then they probably go hit the DA up and be like, listen, can we come to disagreement? All that shit is a systematic game that they've been playing. Don't let
It's a
that shit
fact.
fool you. It's a systematic game they've been playing. They not really going through your case and actually processing it. They'll dock down key points of your case. Noted in a pad. I done witnessed it. I done had several lawyers in my life, several public defenders in my life. I have seen it within the past 5 years. I have seen it. They literally dock down the most key important points of the case, put it in the docket, on to the next one. I watched the one lawyer specifically do that with 3 cases right in front of me. Skimmed through the paper, told me to hold on while I was talking in the middle of mid conversation. He went through 3 pages, three different folders of different cases of 3 different people, wrote down key points, took him about like 10 minutes, wrote down key points, put them in each different folder, packed them up. Good. They don't care about who you are. They're gonna skim through your shit, write down the key points, and then they're just gonna wait to go to court, get you out of the way. They do not care about you. They're not representing you for real.
Hmm. It's interesting you say that because I seen it happen too with my actual public defender. Well, actually, he wasn't a public defender. He's a conflict defender. And so what they do is when you burn bridges or you have too many issues with public defenders, they send you to the conflict defender. So it's like a public defender, but outside of them. So it's this to keep conflict of interest at bay. But this dude straight up asked me, he said, I seen in your record that you served in the Marine Corps. Do you have a criminal record? And the first thing I said to him in response was like, so you're looking at my record and you can see that I served in the military, but you can't see whether or not I have a criminal history? Like, what the frick are you? Why are you even here? And he refused to take my case. I ended up getting a whole nother lawyer after that. And like you said, you have the right to say something. Question them, fire them, get them up
Fire
out of
them.
here.
They hate when a person tells them that I don't want you no more. They hate that because they be like, well, I did it before, and he was like, why you want to do that? Because what the fuck is you here for? You haven't done nothing. You're not really doing nothing. I watched you go out there for 5 minutes to talk to this DA. That's not what I'm here for. I'm not going off of what he wants. It's about what I want out of this situation, not what the fuck the DA want. I'm the
Hmm.
one who got to face time for some shit, not the DA. So you should be talking to me.
Me, yep. The
You should be
defendant.
talking to me, not the DA. The DA is not me. The DA don't dictate my life. And that's the thing, that's the number one thing that they want to do is dictate what the fuck happened in your life through that court system because you there in their domain. They want to dictate what happens
Yep.
out of this situation in this court in that court system because that's their game of how they play. So don't play by their game. Fire that motherfucker immediately. If he ain't doing shit, fire him. Get him out of there.
Fire. Yeah, I'm
They hate
telling you.
that shit.
I'm telling you. So in addition to the point you pulled about the lawyers, not being your friend, the public defenders being just as raggedy. But you also mentioned skin folk or kinfolk, or all skin folk ain't your kinfolk. And
Right.
so don't be falsely persuaded into believing that just because you have representation, that that person has you or what you have going on in their best or in their best interest. Another point that you touched on was this facilitated, I guess, like recreation of recidivism, where it's like once you out there into the system, it's hard to get out. It's like you said, your probation was to end, but then it was prolonged during the, or due to the circumstances. And that's one of the things that many people need to be aware of, is that, like you said, just because you see it in these pamphlets, you see it on the law, the Constitution, what have you, just because it's on letter, don't mean that's actually how they carry out the procedures.
Right.
And then another point that you mentioned was organization, community organizations. And that was a tough one for me because I always, well, I won't say always, but as I became more educated on how politics work, I became more cynical of politicians, and I started looking more towards community organizers. And I was one of those people who in the beginning was blind and thought like, oh, these community organizers, these organizations, they're no different than or they are different than the politicians. They actually care about us. They're more involved in the community, X, Y, and Z. They look like us. And then we were brought into that rude awakening where we found out that it was not, especially with your predicament where you actually help catapult several people's political, endeavors, and yet they left you high and dry to fend for yourself in the court systems.
Exactly. Not only just because of their political positions, I helped pass Daniel's law.
See, look at that. And where were they to help you?
I helped pass Daniel's law, regardless if I was there when they was going to go to like those meetings and whatnot about Daniel's law. Let's be real. Jaeylon
Mm-hmm.
Rashad Johnson was the reason why Daniel's law was made possible. I could care less about what the amount of speeches Stanley and them was saying. I could care less about none of that. I made that shit possible. When you look on FTP, you see me. You see me. I'm gonna be completely frank. You see me. When you search up Jaeylon Johnson, it's tied to FTP. Jaeylon Johnson will show up on their page. Yeah, they posted me on their page, but on Google, I'm stamped. You see me. You see a whole bunch of photos of me everywhere, everywhere, every protest at damn near every time, unless it was the time during. And there was one protest that I did miss because that's when the U.S. Marshals booked me. But I was at every one, every single protest, every single event that was named. I was there. I was there. And all that work that I did, I'll never want to seem like I did what I did was for nothing, because it wasn't for nothing. We got Daniel's law to happen. But even with that, even with Daniel's law, there was another dude that ended up dying. There's another dude that ended up dying by the police, and he was chasing the police. He was in a mental health crisis. He ended up trying to go up to the police with a knife. This
Oh,
just happened.
Tyshawn. I know,
Yeah.
yeah.
So like even with Daniel's law being passed, what did it matter? You could have tased them. What did it matter? It's the same shit still going on every single day. So like again, I'll never want to make it seem like I regret working with people because I still got my agenda pushed. We made a certain change in the city. We got Daniel's law. But regardless of that, it's still shit going on that people not speaking about. This shit going on every single day behind closed doors. And Asa said it. and I said it already. We had a discussion about it. Just because we put them in the office don't mean they actually going to change anything.
Mm-hmm.
All we doing is just giving another person a job. We just gave another person a better job compared to where they was working at. We gave them a better job. That's about it. Now they on a salary and they ain't got to worry about shit. Go into work, show face here and there at certain events, go to the meetings, tell y'all what sounds great, tell y'all what sounds good. But what does it amount to? What does all of it amount to? Like sometimes we just gotta make it make sense at some point.
Mm-hmm.
We gotta make it make sense at some point. And like I said, all skin folk ain't kin folk. Just because they look like me and you don't mean shit. There's a lot of black people that done did black people dirty.
That's a fact.
Dirty. Dirty. I suggest y'all go look into the Malcolm X history. They already, if y'all haven't seen, the family is filing a lawsuit against the CIA, FBI, and New York's state New York Police Department. Go look into your history, because there were black people that was involved with Malcolm X's death that was working with the CIA or FBI or New York State or New York Police Department. Go look. Please go look. Do your research. Just because they look like me and you don't mean that they are us. Because
That's a fact.
there's class of people. If you have a class of people that are with the majority that are of high rank and power, which are white people, when you add a black person to that and they're around that, what do you expect them to be? They're just a white person that just black. They're another white person that's black.
It's like a disguise. They could just infiltrate our, spaces.
And I realized that when my ex partner, I realized that I'm like, whole time they'll look like me and you. She looked like me and you, our skin color. But the where she grew up in a white household with rich white people. So at the end of the day, when you are involved in a different class, you're gonna be built different. You're gonna be built as I consider you a white person at that point. You have white privilege at that point because you're in a different class set. If you might get pulled over, shit might be different. They might not know it, but at the same time, they know how to handle. Certain people know how to handle themselves when it comes to police. All people don't know how to handle the police well. So it goes to show you, understand the ground you walk on compared to other black people and the ground they walk on, because you're not in the same class. This is why I say a lot of people aren't in the same class bracket. So a lot of people can do more shit because we're not in the same bracket no more. They hold more of a white privilege. A lot of black people, I could say, wish that they were white because of the simple fact, the perks that they get once they reach that class set. That's what separates all skin folk and kinfolk. That's what separates them from the majority. Once you
Mm-hmm.
done went to that class and you forgot where you came from, you on that side.
Even the Bible says, "Don't forget humble beginnings."
You on that side.
Mm-hmm.
You don't come because you're not welcome back once you wanted to cross to that side. You have to understand why people want to be us. Why the fuck we want to be them? Look at the culture now. They copy everything that we do. White women want to go get tans to look darker, have a darker complexion, all sorts of shit. It's being in effect. We are the trendsetters of the world, and y'all allow them to y'all give them ammo to do more. Y'all give them ammo to strive to be us. They envy us because of the simple fact, the joy and whatnot that we have in our culture, because they wish that they were brought in that culture. Understand, we are the culture. We are the culture. We are the trendsetters. Every trend that came out, who made it pop? Black people
Negroes.
made it pop. Who made it pop? We made that. We are the trendsetters of the world. Cause once we done did it, the world wants to do it. Everybody want to rap. Who started rap? Everybody want to be an R&B artist. Everybody want to do this. Everybody want to do that. There'll never be another Michael. There'll never be another Chris Brown. There'll never be another Beyonce. There'll never be another Jay-Z. There'll never be there. Yo, there's things that Black people in this world have impacted on the world that white people have not done. The only thing white people have impacted is war, war, debt, war. In that order.
Oh, Jesus.
In slavery, but we could talk about that at another time.
You have a point there. So I
Let's
would
be
say
real. What
though,
have they impacted? Like, if it's not war, it's just for us further in debt.
yeah,
Like we
I can't really speak to whiteness except for what I've seen with these westernized countries, and that's mostly from an elitist standpoint. They just, it's like you said, war, debt.
war, debt, war, and helping other people go to war. Like
Yeah.
we helping right now genocide in Palestine, and that's another thing. White people don't know how to mind their fucking business.
Oh, Jesus.
Let's be real. They don't know how to mind their business. Because why is we helping another? Why is you helping? Just because if another country is a part of NATO, you still have a right to tell them no. You could tell them no. I don't want to help in this situation. You could still say no,
Hmm.
but didn't say no. You went and still helped. You are now the problem. You're now a part of the problem. You supporting them with these missiles. You supporting them with these weapons to wipe out a whole race. Math not
You have
math.
a point. You have a point.
Math not mathing. We don't. U.S. history will show you we don't know how to mind our fucking business. We don't know how to mind our business. We in everybody else's business besides ours. We have a whole bunch of problems in our state, just the United States alone. Why are we worrying about everywhere else? You have problems to deal with at home base, but we worried about everywhere else. The math ain't math.
Well, I would say though, or at least I would like to ask you, because we're coming towards an end. With everything that you've experienced, that you've seen, read, heard, what have you, out of everything, whether you know of something or not, what would you like to see changed out in the, I would say in the community, but we'll say the world. So it's more, you're not limited.
Hmm. Honestly, I don't got no real answer because of how the world is right now, it's hard to say. I can't
Mhm.
give you a definite answer. I would want, I would, I would always say peace and tranquility everywhere, but that we never had that. We never had that. So it's like right now, like black people war with each other, white people war with each other, everybody war with each other.
Mhm.
There's all sorts of different things and different people at war with each other for certain things. So it's like it's hard to say right now. It's hard to say because I ain't gonna lie, like it's just a bunch of shit just going in full circle right now. Like a lot of shit, like a lot of people mad at Trump back in office. A lot of people didn't want him back in that office.
Mhm.
But at the same time, it don't matter who in that office.
That's a
It don't
fact.
matter who in that office. It don't matter. It really don't matter who in that office. And everybody really was upset about it. I didn't give a fuck, you know. And Whoever could be mad at me, be mad. I did not vote. I ain't vote at all. Nobody deserved to vote for me. I ain't even gonna hold you. I haven't voted for nobody in like 4 years. I haven't voted for nobody. I didn't even vote for Biden.
I mean, people who call themselves mad at people for their votes or not voting, it's a bit absurd. We all have autonomy. Like you have the right to vote or choose not to. And I'm with you because you choosing not to vote is no different than me voting for Jesus on every position. I didn't vote for none of them people either.
Right. Like I'm like no like I could say the only person I considered, nah, I can't even say. No, it was the Asian guy in 2020 one who
Uh,
was running. It was the Asian guy.
the universal
Yeah, yeah,
payout thing. Yeah.
yeah. He was the only one I was gonna consider. But his speech and his conviction upon shit didn't match up with what he wanted. And I was like, nah, you don't look like you're gonna stand on business. So I'm like, he was the only one I considered. I didn't want Biden. I didn't. There was nobody else. There was like nobody. I just said fuck. I just said fuck voting. Like so, anybody who do see this that know me, be mad. You could be mad, but like nobody deserves my vote. There's nobody that deserves my vote. And a lot of I just had that argument with my cousin the other day because I was like, I didn't vote for Trump. Trump don't deserve my vote because if y'all only think about how they could lower gas, how he could lower gas prices, this shit, y'all got another thing coming. Have anybody talked about Project 2025 and 1,000 pages of what the fuck that Republicans want to do?
Hmm.
Because yeah, y'all only talking about the abortions and shit and not public schools no more. There's 1,000 pages of laws and shit that they want to change in America. There's a 1,000 pages. That's a lot of shit that want to change. 1,000 pages, and it's supposed to come to fruition if a Republican stepped back in the office, and y'all got a Republican back in the office. Y'all haven't read the 1,000 pages hasn't been released. Now they could start that shit. That was only the tip of scale about the no abortions and shit. That was only the tip of scale. There's still 1,000 other things. There's still 998 things that we don't know about yet. So at the end of the day, y'all have to realize who y'all put in the office and the things that's about to come to America. That's why with your question, I can't answer that because in the next fucking 4 years, I want to see what the fuck happened first. Because we don't know what's about to happen.
Hmm.
And a lot of people are about to be upset in these next 4 years. Because now where women gonna go to get abortions? What if they have a situation and they didn't want a baby, but now they have to have a baby that wasn't wanted? There's gonna be a bunch of kids out of school if Project 2025 goes into effect. I went to public school, and all my peers went to public school. Now imagine hundreds of thousands of kids y'all put out of public school or put out public school. Where are they gonna go if their parents can't pay for it? There's parents that barely could be even get day to day with bills. And on top of that, if they have more than like two kids in a household, there's families that barely survive, and then you want to take public school away, where now you're going to make it even harder for them to survive because now you limited the access of knowledge to that child because of the simple fact they can't pay for education
Hmm.
when it's all supposed to be free. Let's be real, education is supposed to be free. This is why I said like All this is the game. This is all a game. It's either we fall for it or stand against it. And I'm always against standing against it because I'll never side with white people. I'll never side with white people because of the simple fact the way the system is set up to want the minority to never win. It's for white people in the classes to win, the upper classes to win. Understand the difference. Y'all have to understand that they are not for you. White people are not for you. I don't have nothing against white people, but there are this how the system is. We have to take it with a grain of salt. It is what it is. At the end of the day, it is what it is. I got people that are white that are friends of mine, but your peers are the problem still. Your dad's dad is the problem still. And while doing all this, they want to be us. They love our culture. They love our food. They love the venues we put out. They love our music. They love everything about us, but hate us at the same time. How the fuck y'all can love us so much that y'all want to be us, y'all want to look like us at the same time, but still want to do mad bullshit to us. Still have all this inner hatred towards us. My ex-partner was white. You could get so mad at me that you'll call me a nigger on my twice in our relationship. My ex-partner was white. We got into arguments, called me a nigger twice in our relationship. I ain't never told nobody that. But it goes to show you that person was supposed to love me, but could call me some disrespectful shit like that. And I met you through the protests.
Mm.
Again, just because some of these people claim that at the end of the day, they here with us, they not here. They not here. I learned that the hard way from a person I thought that loved me back. You could call me out my name in that manner, in that tone. The white privilege came back. That it's their culture. That culture in her mind frame came back. And it's ingrained. It's not even. It's not even. It's like that was like it was like unexpected to come out of her mouth, but it happened.
Mm-hmm.
Again, they're not here for us. Understand that they're not here for us. This is all a game, and we can play the game, or we can go through the game and beat the boss at the end. Now, it's steps and levels. We all know how games work. It's a level to every single thing. It's about how we get to the end point and beat the final boss. Because when you beat the final boss, the game is over. Now you can rebuild. So yeah, it's a lot of things not said, a lot of things not being done. A lot of people are a waste of space, and a lot of people suffered from it. So
Well, I at least thank you for giving all this information because it's very valuable. And I know to some it may seem like the focus was more dark, but the reality is like the
know
Bible
the
says,
truth.
ain't
Know the
none
truth.
good but the Father. Like the world is full of a lot of, it's a wild
It's a
stuff
lot of
happening.
dark shit. Like it's a lot of dark shit. Like it's a lot of dark shit. And like I I'm gonna shed light to the dark shit because y'all need to know what's going on.
It's the truth.
People, this is what's going on. This is not no bullshit. I kid you not. This is not no bullshit. This is what's going on, and y'all should know what's going on. People. People of my color will do you dirt. It don't matter what. It don't matter what or who you are. It's a part of what class you in. It's a part of what we look like, and it's a part of who you know and who you don't know. Understand, all this shit is a game for certain people and for certain classes.
Hmm.
Understand that it's all a fucking game, and everybody has a game to play. Even I got a game to still play. It's about how I'm gonna beat the game at the end. We all got our journeys that we have to beat at the end. We all got our journeys that we got to go through, quests that we got to go through. It's all about how we finish. But at the same time, understand, do your research on certain people, because a lot of these people will come to show you that they straight dog shit. These people ain't for you for real. A lot of people ain't for you, white or black. I love my black people, but there's still black people that not deserving of that love, not deserving to be liked, not deserving to be acknowledged. Yeah.
But again, Jaeylon, I do thank you for, taking the time out and just having this conversation with us, telling us about your experiences. And like you said, exposing the truth, shedding some light on it and using your own experiences. And I would like to just take a moment out because I want to reiterate to those who may not know, because the focus of this conversation seems to be a little bit more bleak. I would like to remind people that Jaeylon is, I believe, a music producer, and I'm just gonna speak it out there. But I know you're involved in music. He's an artist all the way through and through. He's a writer, as he's mentioned earlier. He's a skater, dance. I mean, you can tell them what else that you're involved in, and you can, feel free to leave your socials for anyone who wants to follow you, to see your content, and just maybe to even reach out to you just to converse with you, and maybe they want to share their stories with you.
So MBK underscore Esco underscore official on all social media. Besides Facebook, it's MBK Esco. Like I said, I majority of my music I done produced myself. Um, ooh, did my camera cut out? Okay.
No, you still here.
Majority of my music I produce myself. I dance, I sing, I write my own music. All my music I write. Um, One of my biggest accomplishments, I got acknowledged by Davies in New York. He hit me up on Instagram, willing to do a feature with me. So that's something that I'm going to be venturing towards too. Going to New York to go do a feature with Davies. Well, nice big rapper in New York City, out of Harlem, New York. Um, you can follow me on all social media, all my videos and TikToks. I'm on TikTok, all social media. Follow me and whatnot. For any inquiries, if you are another artist and you want to do a feature and you done heard my music and whatnot, we could talk, go from there. Um, for any of my radicals, if you got more questions, if you was out there and you know what was going on and you got questions for me, all you gotta do is message me and I'll see it. 9 times out of 10, we probably know, I probably know of you, or we know each other. If you got questions about everything that's been going on and you seen this whole thing and heard everything and you got questions, I'm always available. Just hit me. Like I said, MBK underscore Esco underscore official. I'm Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. And I thank you again for having me on here. I most definitely appreciate it.
Yes, sir. Thank you. And I will just put it out there. I may just reach out to you again because one, I mean, I love you. And so even though I don't know you and have not hung out with you like one-on-one, in a intimate relate or setting, I still look at you like family, like because of we have similar experiences, we have similar thoughts on, on what's happening. And then the thing that like brought us in meeting was not only the protests, but like our involvement in the criminal justice system. However, in its different facets, because I mean, you, like yourself, I too was dragged through the criminal justice system. So some of my knowledge is through experience and some of it is through education. But I would love to just have you here, again, and just to talk to the people because you are young, but you're full of insight. You know what I'm saying? And God allowed you to go through the ample experiences that you went through so you can be a testimony to others and help them with their situation. And so I would appreciate, having you back again. And I would like to say, because I can't tell you how to feel with the experiences that you had dealing with Free the People, CJI, and all those organizations that basically exploited you for your work and effort and then left you high and dry. I will try to at least say I hope at some point, before it's too late, that you learn to forgive them because one, people are raggedy. And that's one thing that we can always expect to the day we die. You know what I'm saying? And then Jesus come back. The people will be raggedy. And
That's
so I
a
would
fact.
hate for you to um, hold any animosity, even if it's at the bare minimum, towards some people who little did they know God, all he did was just use them, you know what I'm saying, to get
Hmm.
you some experience because God was just preparing you for what he has in store for you. That you can't achieve what it is that he needed you to achieve based on the Jaeylon from, 2020, 2021, and so forth. And I've learned that with myself because I was one of those people. I go through negative experiences, especially if it's at the hands of somebody else, not necessarily my own fault. Resentment would boil to the point of like it was hate. And then I started to realize like I am exerting so much energy into people who don't give no dangs about me. You know what I'm saying? I'm losing sleep, mad at these people. And if I even say anything to them about what how I feel towards them, they probably won't even remember it, could care less. And so after learning that for myself, I would not want you to go in life. I would rather you avoid the garbage that I had dealt with, where it took me some time to say like, T, you gotta forgive them. You know what I'm saying? And just give it to Jesus because all you can do with humans is expect them to be humans,
That's a
and
fact.
it's raggedy.
That's a fact. But there ain't no hate. But I don't got no hate towards nobody. This was a perfect platform to let everybody that gonna see this know, yeah, this is how I felt. There's no hate, but this is how I've been feeling for that 16 months. That's how I felt. I'm only saying how I felt about the situation. Anybody can be mad. They can go about the situation how they want, but I'm expressing how I feel. And with all the information that's been said, I'll let the viewers, I'll let the viewers deduct y'all take away bits and
Mhm.
points of which I heard. Y'all added up, you
And
know?
thank you again, Jayla.
Of course. Thank
You
you.
be safe, sir. And always reach out to me. If I'm gonna text you my number so you can have it because I
Got
suck with social media. But
I got you.
anytime you need me, call me, text me, it don't matter. Especially when powers of higher positions are involved. I love that because I'm bringing the whole armor of God with me and I'm with you. I love
I
being a disruptor. So I'm down
got you.
whenever you need it.
Well, like I said, with it's I'm expecting some things to happen because of the simple fact with the Daniel Prude Foundation Incorporated, there's going to probably be a lot of things that's going to be happening with that situation. Um, they don't again, like people don't want to see Joe Prude rise to power in the city of Rochester. They already
Hmm.
treat him like dog shit. So again, with that being said, we're trying to for the viewers Daniel Proof Foundation Incorporated. We're trying to raise money to get a building to start a boxing gym and a soup kitchen to help the community and whatnot, get kids into the gym to start boxing, get kids out of the streets. That's what the main goal is, and then to expand on it. Kind of similar to like the community place, but different because we're gonna like put our own facility out there for kids to go to, make outreaches and whatnot, and expand on it. Try to, set the groundwork for the legacy.
Well, thank you again, Jaeylon. And you be safe. May God keep you, brother.
You as well. You as well. I'll see you soon.
Yes, sir.
All right.
If you want people to think otherwise of you more positively, then give them more positive experiences.